Have you ever liked a woman who completely acted like you didn't exist? You send her a message and wait, hoping she'll respond. But nothing. She's clearly active online, posting and engaging with others, but still no reply for you. It's a horrible feeling, isn't it? You begin to doubt yourself. Did I mess something up? Was I too forward? You might even find yourself analyzing every past conversation, searching for answers. But listen, here's the truth. Her silence isn't really about you, it's about her. And more importantly, you can actually turn this situation into something that works in your favor. In this video, we're going to break down a Stoic mindset that helps you reclaim your confidence. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly how to shift the dynamic when she goes quiet and walk away more powerful than ever. Here's the tough reality. Women test men. They test you by withdrawing, by disappearing, by going silent to see how you'll respond. It's intentional. If you get emotional or anxious, they win. If you stay calm, grounded, and composed, you win. Today, I'm going to teach you how to handle being ignored, not by playing manipulation games, but by stepping into the strongest, most emotionally resilient version of yourself. Think of this as your ultimate playbook for facing rejection with the poise of a Stoic king. Let's get started. Why she's ignoring you and why it doesn't actually matter. Let's be clear about something. When a woman ignores you, it can feel like a direct hit to your self-worth. It triggers self-doubt. You start second-guessing everything you said or did. You obsess over messages, wondering where you went wrong. But here's the twist. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with you. Modern dating is a battlefield of subtle power plays, mixed signals, and hidden motives. People, especially in romantic settings, are often seeking validation, and many try to gain control over the other person's emotions. Maybe she's ignoring you to gauge how invested you really are. Maybe she's pushing your boundaries to see what kind of reaction she can provoke. It's possible she's genuinely tied up with work, social commitments, or personal issues. Or perhaps she's simply not as interested as you believed. But here's the truth that shifts everything. The reason doesn't actually matter. What does matter, what truly changes the game, is how you decide to respond to the silence. If you're glued to your phone, checking for a reply every few minutes, questioning yourself and letting it mess with your emotions, then you're handing over all your power. You're giving her control, not just over the situation, but over your mood, your time, and your sense of self. And that's exactly what you want to avoid. This is where Stoicism becomes your greatest ally, because Stoic philosophy is built on one fundamental truth. You can't control what anyone else does, but you can always control your reaction. No exceptions. So when she goes quiet, don't fall into the mental trap of obsessing over every detail. Don't start doubting your worth or overanalyzing every text. Accept that her behavior is out of your hands and turn your attention to the one thing that is entirely yours to govern: your response. Own what you can control. So, what should you actually do when a woman stops responding? First, embrace this foundational Stoic principle. There's a clear divide between what's within your control and what isn't, and her actions, her silence. That's firmly in the category of things you cannot control. If she does reply, that's her choice. But if she doesn't, you still get to decide how you handle it. And here's the most powerful move you can make when she goes silent. Do nothing. That's right. No chasing, no double texting, no reaching out again. This isn't about being cold or spiteful. It's about showing that you're steady, unbothered by her lack of response. By choosing not to react, you reclaim your power. You send a clear message. Her silence doesn't shake you. It doesn't derail your confidence, your mood, or your sense of worth. When she goes quiet, it might feel like things are slipping out of your control. But this is exactly when your Stoic strength kicks in, because emotional control, that's everything, and it's completely within your grasp. Most guys panic. They feel ignored, so they reach out again, sometimes repeatedly. Some even lash out, sending messages filled with frustration or disappointment. But that's the exact opposite of what a Stoic man would do. Stoicism is about poise, about inner strength. It's about refusing to let your emotions dictate your behavior, no matter what someone else does or doesn't do. It's about keeping your dignity and showing that you're not dependent on her validation. And when you remain calm and centered, she notices. She starts wondering why you're not chasing, why you're not reacting like everyone else. Suddenly you stand out. Let's say the conversation was going well, then out of nowhere she disappears. You're tempted to send a follow-up message, maybe ask what's wrong. Resist that urge. Don't show her you're thrown off. Don't give her the satisfaction of knowing you're bothered. Let your silence speak louder than words. If she chooses to ignore you, so be it. You've got your own life to live. When you don't respond to her silence with neediness or desperation, you instantly set yourself apart. You show her that you're a man who governs his emotions, not one who gets thrown off balance when someone pulls away. Picture this. You had a great date, amazing conversation, everything seemed to click. Then suddenly, radio silence. Most guys would spiral. They'd start questioning themselves. What went wrong? Did I say something off? And then they'd try to fix it by reaching out again, hoping to pull her attention back. But what if you did the opposite? What if, instead of chasing her, you redirected all that energy back into yourself? What if you hit the gym, worked on your goals, improved your mindset, and left her silence exactly where it belonged? That's where the shift happens. By choosing not to chase, you create mystery, you create distance, and that distance builds attraction. She starts to wonder what's going on in your world, why you're not reacting like everyone else. And here's the best part. While she's wondering, you're growing. You're building your confidence, reinforcing your self-respect, and proving to yourself that your mood isn't dependent on anyone's attention. Ironically, by doing nothing, you actually reclaim all the power in the situation. And if she never reaches back out, so what? You've already won, because you stayed grounded, focused, and in control of the one thing that always matters most, yourself. You've already moved on, and in the process, you've leveled up. Step 1. Bring the focus back to you. This is your first practical move, and it might just be the most important one. Rather than obsessing over her silence, take all that energy and attention and redirect it inward, toward your own growth. Her pulling away isn't a reason to fall apart. It's actually a gift in disguise, a perfect moment to refocus, reframe, and rebuild. Now is the time to double down on yourself, sharpen your mind, strengthen your body, clarify your goals. So what does that really look like? Get back into the gym and commit. Stop delaying that personal project or career goal. Start it. Pick up that skill you've been meaning to learn. Immerse yourself in the things that fuel your passion and curiosity. Spend time with people who support you, respect you, and remind you of your value. The more effort you pour into your personal development, the clearer it becomes. Her silence doesn't matter, not in the bigger picture. And here's the paradox. The more you make yourself the center of your life, not her, the more naturally magnetic you become, not just to her, but to everyone around you. Women aren't drawn to men who act from neediness or seek constant reassurance. They're pulled toward men with vision, with purpose, men who are so locked into their mission that they don't have time to chase anyone. Think back to a moment in your life when you were laser-focused, when you were building something meaningful, getting stronger, seeing real momentum. Maybe it was during your fitness grind. You were hitting the gym consistently, seeing results, and feeling more powerful every day. Or perhaps you were deep in building something, a business, a side hustle, putting in the hours, making sacrifices, and watching your vision slowly become reality. Or maybe you were immersed in learning a new skill, sharpening your edge, improving step by step. During those moments, waiting on a text reply, it didn't even cross your mind. Why? Because you were fully locked in on something bigger, yourself. That's the energy you need to bring into every interaction and relationship. When you prioritize your own path, your happiness, your purpose, people feel it. And that kind of energy, it's magnetic. Even she will start to notice. She'll start to sense a shift. She'll wonder what's different, why you're not chasing, why you're more attractive than before. And it's all because you made one crucial decision. You chose to put yourself first. Step 2, leverage reverse psychology the right way. You've probably heard the term tossed around in dating advice, and yes, it's often misused or twisted into manipulative behavior. But when applied with integrity, it's surprisingly powerful. So here's how to use it effectively. When she ignores you, don't chase. Instead, mirror the silence, but do it from a place of calm confidence, not bitterness or resentment. This isn't about mind games, it's about showing strength. It's about sending a subtle but clear message. Her silence doesn't control you. The moment you stop craving her validation, the moment she realizes that her pulling away no longer gets a reaction from you, that's when the power shifts. She'll start to wonder what changed. And that curiosity, that's the key. When you stop feeding her the attention she's used to receiving, the dynamic flips. You're no longer reacting, you're leading, not through manipulation, but by demonstrating that you're not ruled by emotions or external behavior. Remember, it's not about who sends the first message, it's about who maintains emotional control. Picture this. You've messaged her a couple of times and she hasn't responded. You feel the urge to text her again, maybe even ask why she's gone silent. Don't do it. Don't double text. Don't vent. Don't demand answers. Just let it be. Shift your focus entirely. Keep living your life without giving her another ounce of your energy. Post photos of yourself out with friends, crushing your workouts, chasing your goals, but don't contact her. That's when the questions start creeping into her mind. Why isn't he reaching out? Did I lose his attention? Has he moved on? Is he seeing someone else? And when she finally reaches out, and yes, she probably will, keep your response cool and casual. No emotion, no questions. Don't bring up her silence. Don't ask where she's been. Just act as if nothing happened. By staying grounded and unfazed, you've already flipped the script. Without saying a word, you've shifted the power dynamic entirely in your favor. You didn't take the bait, you didn't chase. And that radiates strength, self-respect, and real confidence. That's the true power of reverse psychology. Step 3, remain calm and unshaken. One of the most common mistakes men make. One of the biggest mistakes men make when a woman pulls away is losing their composure. They start to feel anxious, irritated, or even angry, and that's exactly the reaction you need to avoid. Because the moment you let your emotions take over, you give away all your power. She can sense it, your restlessness, your emotional imbalance, and it puts her in control. The Stoic response in moments like this is simple and unwavering. Stay calm, stay grounded, stay unmoved. It doesn't matter what she's doing or not doing. Your mindset should remain steady like a rock. You need to carry the energy of someone who is rooted, centered, and emotionally untouchable. This isn't about faking indifference. It's about truly refusing to let someone else's behavior decide how you feel. And when you reach that level of emotional self-mastery, everything changes. You feel stronger, more in control, and without even trying, you become more attractive. Why? Because people, especially women, are drawn to those who radiate quiet strength, who stay cool under pressure, who don't flinch when things don't go their way. In the long run, calmness is power. And real power, that's magnetic. The next time she ignores you, resist the temptation to react out of emotion or impulse. Instead, take a breath, step back, and remind yourself of a simple truth. Her actions don't define your worth. Only you have the authority to decide how you feel, not her, and not her silence. So instead of overthinking or replaying every message in your head, choose something that restores your sense of balance. Go for a long run, to release built-up tension. Turn up music that makes you feel confident and untouchable. Get absorbed in a project you've been putting off, something productive that demands your focus. What you're doing is powerful. You're taking the attention off of her and putting it back on you. And in that moment, you're reclaiming your emotional control. You're showing her, and more importantly yourself, that her responses, or lack of them, don't shake your core. You're not waiting for validation. You're not at her mercy. You're living your life with intention. And that level of control, that's what truly makes you magnetic. Because when she realizes you've stayed calm and centered, unaffected by her pulling away, she starts to wonder, why didn't he react? Why doesn't he seem fazed? Why doesn't he care like I expected him to? And that's when the power dynamic quietly shifts. Step 4. Detach from the outcome. This is the highest level of Stoic thinking. Emotional freedom. Whether she replies or not, whether she's interested or not, your peace stays solid. You're unaffected. That's true power. When you stop obsessing over how things will turn out, you liberate yourself from the emotional ups and downs of dating. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about her. It means you care more about your own peace of mind than whether she gives you attention or not. And that shift in mindset, it's absolutely vital if you want to regain control in any connection. When you let go of attachment, you stop outsourcing your happiness to someone else. Your self-worth no longer depends on her replies or her approval. You take back control of your emotions, your confidence, and your direction. Here's the truth. Once you detach, you stop fixating on what she's doing, what she's thinking, or why she hasn't responded. You move into a space of calm, clarity, and self-command. And that energy, that self-assured presence, it's incredibly attractive. People, women included, are naturally drawn to those who aren't chasing approval, who don't need constant validation. Detaching from the outcome shows strength. It tells the world you respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that doesn't honor your value. You stop acting out of neediness and instead become the kind of person others admire and want to pursue. Think back to a time when you were overly invested in how something would play out. Maybe it was a job interview, a first date, or a text you were anxiously waiting on. The more you stressed about the outcome, the more anxious you felt. Your mind was in overdrive, imagining every possible worst-case scenario. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine letting go of all that noise. Imagine being completely fine with however it unfolds, because deep down, you know you'll be okay. No matter what, you'll be perfectly fine. That's the core of Stoic detachment. It's the belief that whatever happens, happens for a reason, and that your inner peace isn't dependent on anyone else's behavior or approval. When you can genuinely let go of whether or not she replies, you experience real freedom. You no longer feel compelled to chase, to seek attention, or to measure your worth by someone else's actions. And when you're that free, you become magnetic. Letting go of the outcome is a quiet display of confidence, and confidence is what truly pulls people in. It tells the world, and more importantly yourself, that your happiness comes from within. It's built on self-mastery, not on needing external validation. Here's the truth. When a woman goes silent, most men fall apart. They panic, they pursue, they overthink, and in the process they lose control of themselves. But you're not most men, not anymore. Now you understand the mindset. You have the tools. You know how to handle it when she pulls away. When she ignores you, it's not a setback, it's your opportunity. An opportunity to stand out, to stay composed, to lead with strength. You don't react. You don't beg for her attention. You stay grounded, calm, confident, in complete control of your emotional state. And that doesn't just make you more attractive, it makes you more powerful in every area of your life. Think about it. How many men do you know who let their emotions run the show? How many completely unravel the moment they get ignored? That's not going to be you. You're going to be the man who stays composed, who focuses on his own path, who doesn't chase validation because he doesn't need it. And this isn't just about knowing how to handle it when a woman goes silent. It's about leveling up your entire life. When you master your emotional responses, you break free. You're no longer tied to other people's approval, actions, or opinions. You're in charge. And that kind of freedom, it draws people in. Women feel it, others respect it, you live it. From this point forward, don't just play the dating game, own it. Be the man who's in control, always. And if this message hits home for you, then now's the time to take real action. Don't just click away and forget everything you've heard. Do something with it. Subscribe now. Join a brotherhood of men committed to mastering not just dating, but their emotions, their mindset, and their entire lives. Don't wait for the next time she pulls away to start building your strength. Start now. Start today. Because this isn't just about dating advice. It's about becoming the man you were always meant to be. A man who doesn't just react, but takes control.